So I go out to Africa all the time and regularly bring teams out. We went out on the 16th of July with some of our success students, staff, my brother, his wife, and before we went off to do the projects and go to the bush for our 12-hour journey, we had a team building exercise which was water rafting, but it turned out to be like a horror movie, absolutely disastrous. The boat capsized, myself and the whole team ended up falling down a waterfall, 20 feet waterfall. I broke my kneecap badly, lost 25% of my blood, and was in a real bad way. Luckily the rest of the team weren't too bad, but it shook everybody up. So, we've obviously assessed everybody. Me and Russell have been speaking. I normally ask how you all doing, how you all feel. I'm not going to ask that because I know the answer. Everybody's feeling, you know, sore, hungry, tired, thirsty, shook up, scared, confused. Basically every bad possible feeling you could be feeling, probably people are feeling right now. But I want to remind you of what I said yesterday. I said yesterday that throughout this week, there'd be a time in the week when we wanted to quit and we wanted to turn back. Did I say that yesterday?
Yeah.
And right now, probably is that moment where we want to turn back, we want to give up. Yesterday, we're talking about being soldiers and being warriors. And we said that a warrior acts in spite of their mood and no obstacle can get in their way. It's all right saying that in the classroom and cheering and stuff like that, but right now, we're now going to live that. And that's one of the reasons why we run these camps. We run these camps because we're putting into practice what we teach in the classroom about determination, about not giving up, all these things. So I know that we've all been a bit hurt and stuff like that, but is anybody too physically injured to travel tomorrow? No. Alright, Anna, you? You're good. Now unfortunately I physically can't travel tomorrow because I've got to have an operation. I'm going to be in hospital for 10 days and it's going to take I'm going to be in a cast, it's going to take quite a bit of time for me to get recovered. But you know what, I'm a warrior. So to me, I eat that stuff up for breakfast. I'm not too worried about that. What I am worried about, in fact, this pain right now in my knee, which I know is going to go in a month, reminds me of the pain of the kids and the orphans that we're going to go and help this week, where their pain lasts a lifetime. And we're going out there this week to fix that problem, to give water to the thirsty people, to provide shelter to the homeless, to be able to support orphans, to help budding entrepreneurs that have nothing. I've got £5,000 I put aside, and I want you guys, I need you guys to help spend that wisely this week. So I've passed the baton on to Russell to team lead. But part of being a warrior is acting in spite of your mood, and is acting in spite of any obstacle. We did not come for a jolly this week. We came on a mission, and this will not stop the mission. And like the ants, we're not going to go back. So I can't go out tomorrow because physically I can't. I'd love to, but I'm confident in all of you guys to make this happen. There's boreholes we're going to be digging tomorrow. We're going to be appointing diggers in villages with no water. Charles's village will be there tomorrow night. There's so much need, and there's so little people. The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And you guys are here right now.
We're going to start heading there tonight. We're going to start heading there now. We'll probably travel a couple of hours down towards our final destination. We'll stop over in a hotel and then we'll do the rest of the journey tomorrow just to break it up a little bit. But I think we just need to get on it straight away. Otherwise we're going to sit here moping.
Russell's going to lead the way. Charles, Steve are going to be having your backs. I'm going to be here praying like crazy for you guys on the road. And I'll be giving you video updates every day.
Cool. Do it, man. Do it.
I have to say it was an experience that I possibly won't choose to repeat. Yeah, it was very, very tough. Started out great, and then we were all on a boat, and we learned sometime later that that boat was likely overloaded. And as a consequence, when we got to the top of a waterfall, that boat capsized and we kind of all went bouncing down the rocks. And yeah, it was very scary actually. And Samuel was hit very badly. In fact, everybody had something that actually, you know, hurt them physically, and also it was very tough mentally, to be quite honest.
Just massively. So I was I'm also like maybe quite grateful, very grateful for everything, you know, what in my life. Because obviously I was fairly certain I wasn't going to survive that.
Me and Anna ended up drifting off away from everyone else, and both me and Anna ended up going through a second set of rapids and a second set of rocks, and we ended up about, I don't actually know the distance, but it was far. I think it was probably 1 kilometre away from everybody else down the River Nile, and to say that I wasn't scared would be a complete
I've got a bit of news on Samuel now as well. I had a chat to him this morning. He sent us a video. He's in high spirits. His injury is actually worse than they thought it was yesterday. He has shattered his kneecap as well. It's probably going to be about a year before he's walking again. So, yeah. It's pretty bad. It's fractured in 4 places, shattered the whole patella. They reckon he should be able to travel back, but he's going to be in plaster and stuff. They reckon he'll be in plaster for about 6 to 9 months, but then I can't remember exactly what he said. It's going to be a year before he's walking again properly. He's going to be on crutches and stuff, and in plaster for quite a long time as well. So he's really bad, but at the same time, he's really keen that we go out and smash what we're here to do. So, this is what we're doing today. Moving on from yesterday. Warriors, remember. Boom, we can do this. So, can everyone see the map? Kind of, yeah? So, this is where we were in Entebbe. This is the airport, that's where we landed. Yesterday, we drove up through Kampala, all the way to Ginger, where we all nearly died. We then left Ginger and we've come back, and we're right now in the capital in Kampala. So that was the route we did yesterday. Today we're going there. So we're going to be going in, having a look, finding out what the need is, seeing can we dig a bore. I mean, we'll be led by Charles because he'll know what the crack is. But it'll be a good chance to see which villages we think need it the most now. It doesn't mean we can't go back and do more, and like down the line, but we've got £5 grand left now. We can dig some boreholes or whatever it is that we think. And if we stop off at a few, it'll give us a chance.
and just take the kids some, I don't know, some games or toys.
Let's pick up some bits on the way. I think we want to break up the journey anyway. It's going to be a long ass journey. Yeah. And today's just about travelling really, and then we're going to be staying at a hotel, I believe, in Kabale tonight. And then we'll be staying in the actual village tomorrow. So we're staying in Kabale at the moment. This is one of the huts that we're staying in. They're really nice actually. The thatched roof. It's really different to what we're used to back home. Later on today, we're going to be heading across the lake what was it called again? Lake
Bunyoni.
Bunyoni. I don't know why I can't remember it.
Lake Bunyoni.
Across that is small island. Then that whole part.
That's where the village is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're heading straight across the lake, just over that way over there, which is the village that we're going to. This is the village that we've been to before. I've never personally been, but Samuel has, and there's a borehole out there, which would be very interesting to see that and see how that's affecting the village. And then after we've been there and spent some time with them, we're going to be going looking at other villages that maybe we can help. So we're about to head over to the village. We're just here in Kabale, just buying some supplies, toys, pens, paper, soap, stuff to take over for the kids. So excited to get moving now, so we're just going to head off into their supermarket. So we're about to leave on the boat now, across the river. Some people are a little bit nervous about getting the boat after what's happened, but I'm sure it'll be fine and hopefully it won't capsize and fall down a waterfall again. We're going to be all good. Just really looking forward to getting there now, so I want to get moving.
Can't wait. Got a bit nervous, I don't know why though. Maybe I'm worried about what they're expecting, but yeah.
I don't know, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty looking forward to seeing them and being welcomed by them and then going in and seeing exactly how they live and seeing how we can help. But no, I'm pretty excited, really looking forward to it.
You are welcome, our visitors.
Thank you.
Yes. Come, big one, big one.
It's one of the common crop that we grow here.
Yeah.
And it's best for food.
Yeah.
Every family must eat this kind of food with beans.
Yeah.
So if you get all the vegetables and they bring in there and they put mixed up with the beans, it's a nice meal. If you bring the rice,
Yeah.
and maybe think of like bring like a meat or something, that's when you should have changed under that. But most of the time the beans is the common meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
This village that we went to is where Charles was brought up. So Charles does a lot of work with that village and continues to do so. He was brought up there. His parents died, so he became an orphan, and he went out to live in a nearby town. He had a much better life out there, got a job, and what he's doing is he's going back to the village to give back, because he knows the people there. He knows what it's like to live on that village, and he's, you know, a selfless guy who's caring about other people and going back and helping them out. So that's kind of what Charles does. He goes every Saturday, provides them all with a good meal, so they have at least one really good meal a week.
I believe it's every Saturday he goes over with food, and he feeds them all out of his own money. He pays for that with help from various charities, but he pays for the majority of that, and he's selfless. Every week he's there feeding them.
Charles organised it.
Charles is the one who organized for this.
So before Charles, what used to happen?
Would not much the lunch itself.
Everyone would just sort their own out.
We would go, look around by themselves.
So he's doing a good job.
Yes, a good job, yes.
The children that come here from different places?
Yeah, we have got different villages here, but then we have the same community. I mean, like, we are from the same different villages, but the same community, because we know all each other.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, they have to come from different villages, but then we meet other communities.
Some they come up the hills, others this side, and we get small containers, like 5 liters, 10 liters, according to the age, and then we move to the lake, and then we pick it there, or we fetch water from the lake.
Yeah.
And this is a tank for some.
Yeah. Very useful.
Yes, very much, because some people are around. As we have been rainfall, they could come and fetch from here. Yes.
And there's 2, isn't there? Is there 2?
Yeah, but we need more. We need more, because people they travel a long distance for coming for fetch water from here.
So where do they travel from? Where do they travel from?
They
Up there.
Up the hill. Then they move down and they reach here. Then they fetch water. Then they go
Back up the hill.
Yes.
So it would be good to have one of them up the hill.
Yes. If we have another tanker up there, then it could be better. Yes.
Yeah. So the rain falls down, lands on the roof.
Yes. Then the pipe
Falls in here, comes down the pipe into the tank.
Yes.
The gutters would be very big, would mean that you would get a lot of water to the tank, and maybe like in 1 or 2 days the tank is full, and then it can be on overflow. But then if they will be using water all the time from the tank, then it would mean that still the water won't be like overflow, because they are using it from the tank all the time.
Yeah. And there's a lock on the tank.
Yeah, the lock, of course, they have to lock just in case.
Maybe during that night
And break.
or open it. Then tomorrow we find
There's no water in the tank.
Who would do that?
There's some people, you know,
kids
we have
can
different
maybe,
hearts.
You never know.
We have different hearts. Someone like that. Or maybe a child may come unknowingly and do like this, then run away.
Who has the key?
It is here.
Okay. So they come and say
Already open.
it's open. So they'll come and say to you, can I have some
So
water?
in case maybe someone comes,
See,
can
the
come
guy
and
is
say,
picking water or fetching water.
So we've brought like pens and sweets and all sorts of stuff, but we had no idea just how many children there were going to be. It's that and books and stuff, but it's that awkward moment where it's like, yeah, we've got all these books, but we don't have enough for everyone, and you can't just go willy-nilly handing out some. So It was good. We managed to get enough. I think everyone had a sweets and a pen, and they were like delighted with that. But it's a shame because we bought all this other stuff that we actually can't hand out. So it's hard. I mean, when we first started, it turned a little bit chaotic. So the guys had to sort of step in and hand it out for us. But it was good. But it's amazing how much of a pencil means to these kids. It just shows really how little they've actually got.
The food situation I was expecting to be as it was, really. I mean, the kids were all hungry. They are still hungry, mate. They're coming back for more. We've given them loads of sweets, and then they're fighting over the sweets, which is not nice. And they're just hungry little children. They're children, man. At the end of the day, they're not. These children don't deserve this.
How much, Charles? How much is the tank?
The tank is when it is in
Which kind?
US dollars. It is almost. It is 2.5 here.
Okay.
2.5 million shillings.
Yeah, shillings.
Okay, so that's like £400.
Exactly. Something like £1.
For the whole tank.
I mean,
2.5 million shillings. Only that plastic tank.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Then still there is some bricks.
but there's some other tanks you can make with this other kind of like.
To put a big tank up there,
Yeah.
what would be the total cost for all buildings?
That needs the budget. It needs someone sit down and like all the requirements.
Roughly. How much did this tank cost?
That one.
Roughly.
Only plastic or even the whole
Everything.
All the building. Something like 7 point something million, 7-8 million.
So £1,200.
It's 1,470.
So £1,500.
You hear people say things like, "Oh, well, it's never going to make a difference." Well, it will to the people that it does make a difference to. So if you provide water to a village, it's going to make a damn big difference to that village. And yes, it's a big project, and yes, to tackle the whole. I mean, even Uganda, we're not going to tackle the whole of Uganda, but the people that we can help, it will make a big difference to.
Okay, so this is where we slept last night. This is Charles's house, as you can see. This is the room we slept in. It was, do you know what? It's not bad. They've got a little 3-bedroom house up here. It's obviously made of their local mud, sort of a hay sort of mix, but it is a pretty decent sort of a house for rural bush Uganda. So it was pretty comfortable. And to be honest, it's not something I'd want to do regular, but these guys have to do it all their life, so it does make me appreciate a good bed. That's all I'll say.
So we've just spent the night in Charles's house, and we've stayed here at this village, and we're now going to go and walk. I think it's about a half an hour walk to another village nearby where I believe they need water probably more than they do here. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what this is like. Whilst the village is still not fully developed, after the work that Samuel and Charles have been doing over the last few years, it's improved massively. We decided now to see what the other villages are like and assess our next project.
You have clay here to make or not?
No, we have them in the town.
In the town?
Yeah.
You need to transport all those bricks and the sand soil.
Did these brick, you bring these from the town or you make them?
No, we make them from here.
And could you make a tank from these bricks but then have something inside to make it lined, to make it watertight? So even though you make the surround,
Yeah.
can you make something then, I don't know, like a lining?
These bricks
Yeah,
are just for building houses,
Uh-huh.
but for the water tank,
yeah,
they are not good.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Those who want maybe to build water tanks
Yeah.
with bricks, they go to town, they get bricks and transport up to here.
Uh-huh.
So I remember watching the video where Samuel came here a couple of years ago and watching him struggle up the hill and thinking, oh, what a pansy. But we've just walked up the hill and it is pretty hardcore. We just got to the church. I'm amazed at the church really. This is a beautiful building. It literally, with windows, wouldn't look out of place here in the UK.
You look good.
We're going to another village after this, but no, it's been a really, really interesting, inspiring journey so far. Look forward to seeing what we've got in store for us at the church. I was expecting it to be more or less what it was like, apart from the fact I was expecting it more like the video before, so I was expecting... They looked healthier than I was imagining them to be. I mean, obviously there were different parts where we went. I'm talking about the village that we stayed at now. Other parts of Uganda, it is still like I imagined. It is still, they are still in need of water. It's not like the whole problem is cured. I'm literally just talking about the village that we stayed in now. But yeah, it was more or less what I imagined it. I'd obviously seen the video from the year before, so I knew roughly where. The biggest standout probably was how hilly it was. They must be so fit walking up those hills. Poor Alastair was struggling.
Fortunately, Samuel's previously been to this village and he's installed water tanks with Charles's help. Seeing the results of that water that this village has now got is, for them, has been completely life-changing. They now no longer have a lack of water and clean drinking water on the island. Some of the kids are just brilliant, man. They're not, although they still have a lack, they're now fed weekly by Charles, who goes there every week to feed them. He takes bread and things like that there, and obviously they have that constant supply of drinking water from Samuel's water tanks.
So we're here at the church. It's amazing, all these people that have got nothing, look, they're rushing up to give what the little that they've got. Pretty incredible.
I just wanted to say on behalf of everybody, thank you so much for welcoming us all. I think many of you know we lost our leader earlier this week, Samuel, who I think you know, and maybe you could say a little prayer for him.
Charles, how you doing? They're all here, man. Good to see you guys. You smashed it this week then, I believe.
How are you, Samuel?
You look a bit better.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I've had some scares, but it's all now. All's good, and been thinking about you guys. So yeah, everything's.
What's the crack then with? Because Mandy was saying that they might have had to re-op.
Yeah, they might have to re-op. Yeah, annoyingly, it's looking like the surgery was done a bit ropey. I'm trying currently to get back to England so they can reassess. But I'm having troubles because no airline wants to take me. I got a quote from Andy, his jet, which is just over 100 grand.
Wow.
So it's a bit steep. So that's like a bit of a last resort. But yeah, and I'm just praying I get back to UK. Worst case is they'll just operate on me again. The operation was awful, man. It's horrible. Did I tell you about it?
You
Oh.
were kind of like half awake.
Yeah, I was half awake.
What sort of propping and prodding?
You know what? It was, you know, I don't even want to talk about it. It was horrid. Today, my whole focus has been trying to get on a flight home. Yeah. So all the airlines refused me. When I got here, the doctor has basically been working on my behalf to try and get me back with a doctor's note. KLM have accepted that I can go home, but there's a lot of red tape, so I've got to go through a lot of forms. KLM are an airline company.
They're a very big airline company.
Yeah, so they've accepted to take me home, business class. I'll go with Mum, but it's going to be a bit of a struggle. So I've got, for instance, I've got to prove that I can walk the distance of the seat to the toilet. I'm crutches myself. I've got to prove that I can do that. So the doctor's asking me to walk with crutches and stuff, which I can't really do.
Unfortunately, Samuel was stuck in a hospital on his own for 10 days before being accepted on a flight home. Upon returning to the UK, he was sent straight to hospital and was told he'd lost 25% of his blood. So, yeah, we've been at Charles's Village all day. Obviously, there's lots of different options as to what we spend the money on. What are you guys thinking?
It's all about water. I think that's where it's at.
I think what struck me was how much the village has progressed. And clearly the water's made a huge improvement there. And when we were talking to village, to Godhead last night, he was talking about water as the first priority and then education as the second priority.
Compared to the videos we've seen before, I didn't see any that I thought were like really malnutrition or anything.
No.
Yeah, you're right, they were skinny, but
their clothes look good.
Yeah, they looked like reasonably healthy, happy young children. I think it's a basic necessity, isn't it? Water. Everyone should have clean water and food. Yeah.
I definitely agree with you though. Once you've got water in there, you can certainly build up from there. So it actually gives them a base to build up from. So potentially find other villages which haven't got water, and Charles' village didn't.
But some of the stuff they had now though, like they all had, they didn't have electricity, but they all had lights.
Solar power.
Yeah. How good's that? I was really impressed with the village. It's come on a lot, and the only thing I can put it down to is the fact that because they've got the water, it's freed up their time to focus on other stuff. Because before it was just all water.
If it goes well, we'll help people to understand business better, but hopefully people will be able to help them seed something that's going to grow more. And I love the idea of being able to give jobs, or maybe some of that income does sponsor somebody in their village to go to have further education.
Cool.
So with the business workshop, is there a limit? Is there a number that you've got set aside for interest-free loans, or is it just however much you feel on the day?
However much we feel, but the rough figure is about £2.5 grand.
And obviously, any of us, if we wanted to, like, invest in a business, we're free to do so.
Yeah, of course. I know you want to.
Yeah, I've got 150 quid from our company that I want to invest through in some way tomorrow.
It's really funny.
So one of the things that we really want to do here in Uganda is to help the business people, because I believe that entrepreneurs are the backbone of any society. So if we can help people create businesses, it means they can A, give back to their community, but B, it means they'll be employing people, and it all adds to the community as well. So it's really beneficial to have good business people. That's why we're here today. We're going to be starting soon. I think we're starting in about half an hour or so. People have already started arriving. This is the conference room that we're at. It's going to be an exciting day. Everyone that's here is getting up and speaking at least a little bit to give them some experience. It's going to be a shame that Samuel can't be here, because I think that would have been really good, but I'm sure we'll have a great day anyway, so we're getting started very, very shortly.
Currently in Uganda, ready to do a business workshop with some of the local people in the town of Kabale. We're doing it to try and help the local population with business, but we've noticed that quite a few of the people do not have pens and paper. Obviously, this is a bit of a problem, so to give them the best chance and to allow them to learn as much as possible, we have bought, I've just personally gone out and bought some pens and paper for them. We've come back and distributed it out, and the people are very thankful for this because obviously it will allow them to take more from the experience. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's going to start very soon. We're just not sure what to expect really. People are coming in as we speak really, and effectively I just hope many people can take away as much as possible from the day and maybe improve their lives and improve the community around them.
I'm a little bit nervous because I'm hosting the event, and my expectations are hopefully there'll be at least 1 or 2 people in the room who take away some little nuggets and they go out and start their little business.
So today is the last day of Uganda. We've carried out our mission, we've carried out our charity work. It has been a massively up and down week. We've had a bit of an emotional roller coaster with water rafting accident, Samuel being in hospital, travelling 10, 12 hours to get to villages. So yeah, it's been a great week. We're now all about to leave Uganda for the last time. Probably a little bit sad to see it go, but also glad to get home.
I think the best way of summing this week up is probably the good, the bad and the ugly. So start off with the good. The good is that we managed to get out into the villages. We've seen the good work that's been done so far. The village, if you watch what it was like 2 years ago, transformed. The children don't have swollen bellies, they've got all clean water, they're all having a meal every single day. It's brilliant. Also good is we've managed to find somewhere else we can put a water tank, and we found somewhere to put a borehole as well, which means we'll be able to help more people and transform our lives, which is great. So that's been the good. The bad was the water rafting experience where we capsized, fell down the waterfall, hit the rocks. I don't know. Yeah, that was pretty bad. And the ugly, I've got a picture of it here on my phone. You probably won't pick it up, but it's going to flash up on the screen now. That's Samuel's leg. That is certainly the ugly. It's been a very interesting week. We've had a lot of ups and downs. You always do when you put yourself out there, and problems always come, which is what has happened to us. But this week was about building character, and everyone's been brilliant. I had a whole bunch of warriors for us, so I'm really happy with how we've got on, and I'm excited to come back again.
Just give as much as you can, guys. These kids have nothing, and actually seeing it with my own eyes is painful. So just give everything you can, man.
So final thoughts. I mean, the outstanding moment in terms of that stood out the most to me, obviously, was the accident with Samuel and his leg, and obviously that's a really bad thing. There has been, we're looking at back now, there have been positive outcomes as a result of that. Overall, it was a negative thing, but I suppose a takeaway from the whole trip is even when good things can come of really bad situations, and you might have a really bad situation like Samuel's leg where you'd go, well, that is, how possibly could you look at that as good? And it isn't good. It's a bad thing, but you do get positive outcomes out of bad situations. So I'd say that was a little bit of a final thought. Albeit still a terrible thing, and I think he's doing so well where he is now with his walking and everything, with what the doctors said. And the other thing is, don't go whitewater rafting.